art is really at its best when it takes things that are just beneath the surface in the culture and makes them explicit. And so artists, sometimes will defend what they're doing when they're accused of having a bad influence on the culture by saying they're just mirroring the culture. Well, no artist really believes that about him or herself, right? They all think they're geniuses who are actually producing something that no one else has ever done. So that's a kind of defense mechanism they use. But what they do at their best is actually to show us things that are right in front of us, but we haven't seen clearly. And I think art, both sometimes in its negative moments, where it illustrates a kind of nihilism that comes out of certain things, can be instructive. And then it can also be instructive in the way that, say, with the popularity of something like Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's really interesting that superhero movies for the past 15 years and quest films are, if you look at the top 10 best-selling films, they're almost all in those categories, or large numbers of them. There are better and worse quest films, better and worse superhero. We could talk a lot about the deficits in those, but it does indicate, I think, something of a hunger for stories about good and evil, and for characters who are ordinary and take upon themselves an extraordinary calling. I mean, the greatest example of that is Tolkien with the hobbits, who aren't all that ordinary, at least in physical appearance or in how many meals they eat before lunch, but they are ordinary in the way of life that they lead in the Shire. And those quest stories where ordinary people just trying to be decent have thrust upon them the need to practice extraordinary virtue. When those show up in the culture, it's worth taking note.